Jagadbijamadyam
Brahmanekam Jagadbijamadyam
Niriham Nirakaram Omkaravedyam
Niriham Nirakaram Omkaravedyam
Yato jayate palyate yena vishvam
Yato jayate palyate yena vishvam
Tamisham bhaje liyate yatra vishvam
Tamisham bhaje liyate yatra vishvam
Sahana bhavatu
Sahana bhavatu
Sahano bhunaktu
Sahano bhunaktu
Saha viryam karvavahai
Sahaviryam karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma
Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma
Vidvishavahai
Vidvishavahai
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Dear devotees, so in the morning we had seen this the great utterance which we discussed, that is Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. We try to understand the meaning of this statement. Ultimately, what it means is Brahman alone is actually existing. And what we are experiencing as Jiva, Jagat, both these things, not only Jiva and Jagat, everything that is the movie. To go back to the illustration of the movie, there is a screen and there is the movie. Is it not? The thing is that what is the status of the movie? Does the movie actually exist? What is actually existing is the screen and screen alone. And everything that is changing, that belongs to the domain of the movie. So this Jiva, you can take one character inside that movie. We are just like that. A Mr. So or a Mrs. So, a character inside that movie. When we watch a movie, there's a hero and other characters. Is it not? In any movie it's like that. Similarly, we are existing in this movie. That individual character inside the movie, what is the real status of that individual? That character is nothing but the screen. Is it not? When you watch a movie, a certain character inside that movie, actually that character is nothing but the screen. Is it not? Similarly, all of the characters. Similarly, the totality of the movie itself. So this Jiva and this totality of this Jagat, this cosmos itself, it's all being projected on the screen of the Atma. So this Jiva and Jagat is nothing but that Atman, Brahman. This is the ultimate picture. What is actually existing is Brahman and Brahman alone. This is the clarion call of the Upanishads. Ekameva dvitiyam Brahma. There is nothing existing distinct from Brahman. This is the point to be noted. There is nothing existing separated, distinct as a second entity from Brahman. Neither Jagat, nor Jiva, nor Ishvara, nor Ishta, nor Avatar. None of these things. There is nothing existing as a second entity distinct from Brahman. This is not possible. And our idea that something is existing distinct from Brahman is only owing to avidya, ignorance. This is what the Upanishads have to say. Our idea that there is something existing distinct from our own self. This is precisely what is happening to all of us here. I think that this world is existing separated from me. Even our idea of God is something, God as something distinct from me. All this distinction, the separateness which we create, we are creating it owing to ignorance. Upanishads want to tell us that there is no distance. This distance, when we talk about distance, if you see, that is what actually comes as space, time, and causation. This is what is referred to as Maya. Where there is no space, we are experiencing space. Where there is no time, we are experiencing time. And where there is no causality, we are experiencing two things causally connected to each other. This is what is Maya. Maya is time, space, and causation. Desha Kala Nimitta, Shankaracharya says. Desha, this is just what Swami Vivekananda has been going in all his Jnana Yoga lectures, space, time, causation. It's all Desha Kala Nimitta, which Shankaracharya speaks in his majestic commentaries. So, Upanishads want to tell us that our sense of a distinct entity apart from Brahman is just based upon ignorance, nothing else. And when this ignorance goes away, when this Maya goes away, we realize that there is nothing apart from Brahman. There is nothing distinct from my own self. Everything is my own self. But what is the meaning of my own self? When I say my own self, it is not referring to the body. It is not referring to the mind. It is not referring to the ego. It is referring to something beyond all these categories. My own self refers to that unchanging screen, which you can call it as Atman. So nothing is existing distinct from Atman. Everything is Atman. Then comes that wonderful vision. Sarvatma Bhava. Everywhere it is one Atman shining. This man of wisdom sees Atman alone everywhere. Then comes that wonderful experience which the Upanishadic rishis, they proclaim. Sarvam Khaluvidam Brahma. Everything is nothing but Brahman and Brahman alone. In ignorance, we are thinking that Jagat is existing, Jiva is existing. This is all happening in ignorance. When that ignorance goes away, we see that everything is nothing but Brahman and Brahman alone. Now, this is what we are going to try to experience. We are going to strive seriously to experience this through a beautiful methodology which the Mandukya Upanishad keeps before us. It is by analyzing our own experiences. Let us now get into the main text. In short, Upanishads bestow on us. Upanishads, they bless us with Abheda Darshana. There is two kinds of vision. One is Bheda Drishti, other is Abheda Drishti. Bheda Drishti means where we see distinctions. I, you, distinction. I am existing, you are existing. The subject-object split. To put it in a very technical term, the experience which we are having at this transactional plane. This is a transactional plane, the plane of Maya. The plane of Maya is the transactional plane. The plane of Maya is the transactional plane. In this empirical transaction plane, we have the split of the subject and the object. I am the subject, and something which is distinct from me is the object, and the interaction is going on, and we have an unquestioned sense of realism about this. Unquestioned. We have never questioned. From the time we were born in this body, we have assumed that this is the perfect state. This we have taken to be absolutely real, and all our dealings are based upon this erroneous notion that something is actually existing separated from me. Whereas that's not the case. This will be clear when we begin to inquire, when we begin to analyze our own experiences. It will come out. The new vision come out. The new vision will come out. The vision of non-distinction. There is no separateness here. It's all Abheda Darshanam. This Abheda Darshanam is what is referred to as Advaita. There is no second entity here. That's the point. Let's see. Just as any spiritual venture, when we start, always the text starts with an invocation, which is referred to as Mangala Charana. That always, you see, any text, any spiritual venture, when we begin, at first we have to remember the ultimate reality. So that all our obstacles, the obstacles on the path of this great investigation, are removed. So all such spiritual venture is first started by remembering that ultimate reality. And Shankaracharya also composes two beautiful verses here. Two beautiful verses remembering the ultimate reality. And then only he starts his commentary. If you just look into these two verses, actually speaking, these two verses, they sum up the whole of Mandukya Upanishad. So right in the beginning, in and through these two verses, we are being given the very essence of what we are going to study in this Upanishad. So let us just see that. So it is just like, in the beginning, the whole of the Mandukya Upanishad is compressed into two verses by Shankaracharya, and then he goes on elaborating it in his commentaries. It's like that. So you all can chant after me. I will chant first line and then you can chant. It's a beautiful, the rhyming is so beautiful. Prajnananshu pratanai Sthiracharanikar Vyapibhir lokan Prajnananshu pratanai Sthiracharanikar Vyapibhir lokan
Prajnananshu pratanai Sthiracharanikar Vyapibhir lokan
Bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan Punarapi thishanodbhasitan kamajanyam Pitva sarvan visheshan Swapiti madhurabham mayaya bhojayanno Maya sankhya turiyam Paramamritamajam brahma yattannatosmi Yo Vishvatma Vidhija Vishayan
Vidhija Vishayan
Prashya Bhogan Stavishtan
Prashya Bhogan Stavishtan
Paschaschanyan
Paschaschanyan
Swamati Vibhavan
Swamati Vibhavan
Jyotishasvena Sukshman
Jyotishasvena Sukshman
Sarvanetan Punarapishanai Svatmani Sthapayitva
Sarvanetan Punarapishanai Svatmani Sthapayitva
Hitva Sarvan Visheshan
Hitva Sarvan Visheshan
Vigata Gunagana Patva Saunasturiyah. What is the method here? The method of Mandukya Upanishad is that first, this Atman is presented in the context of the three states. First, this Atman is presented in the context of the three states of waking, dream, and sleep. And then, the three states are made to dissolve in the Atman. The three states are made to dissolve in the Atman. And then this Atman into which the three states have become dissolved, that Atman is Brahman. And that is your true nature. This is the method of the Mandukya Upanishad. Initially, the Atman, again, this Atman which we are talking about, please note, we may be thinking this Atman something different from me. No, this is our description is going on. This is my description, this is your description. You are that Atman in which the three states, the movie of the three states is continuously going on. You, each one of you. You are that Atman on which the movie of the three states has been projected and it is going on. So you are being described initially in the context of the three states or the movie. You associated with the movie. And then Mandukya Upanishad will show you how to dissolve these three states, how to dissolve this movie into the Atman, and understand that that which is the witness of the three states, the movie, is nothing but Brahman. You are that. This is how we are going to discover our true nature. So in these two verses here in the Mangalacharanam, Shankaracharya, in the first verse, he is describing the Atman which is pervading the three states. In Sanskrit, technically, it is stated as Atman as Sarvagata. Sarvagata means Atman which is pervading the three states. If you just take that movie analogy, is it not the screen which is fully pervading the movie? In the movie, it is the screen which is pervading every nook and corner of the movie, is it not? Actually speaking, what is the real stuff inside the movie? The stuff of the movie is the screen, is it not? Without the screen, there cannot be a movie. The real vastu. Now you can go back to Sri Ramakrishna's statement. Sri Ramakrishna says, Bhagwan hi ekmatra vastu, baki sab avastu. It is just other Bangla way of saying that Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. He is saying it in Bengali language himself. Bhagwan hi ekmatra vastu means that screen alone is the vastu which is actually existing. Rest everything is appearing to exist. So if you just look into this movie analogy, what do you see? What is the stuff inside the movie? Inside the movie in itself is stuffless. There is no stuff inside that. If you just take the movie in itself, if we take this Jagrat Swapna Sushupti in itself, it is stuffless. There is no stuff in it. It's all hollow. The real stuff lies in the screen on which this movie is being projected. Is it not? So, initially we need to understand. Initially here, if you just see, in that movie, it is that screen which is pervading the movie through and through. That is what is described here in the first verse. Atman, which is pervading the three states. Sarvagata Atman. And in the second state, it is just the opposite. Atman, which is transcending the three states. Atman as pervading the three states in the first verse, and in the second verse, Atman is described as that which is transcending the three states. Absolutely nothing to do with the three states. This is what is Saguna and Nirguna Brahma. So beautiful. This is the complete totality of the picture of reality. Saguna means the screen associated with the movie. Nirguna means the screen unassociated with the movie. Both together is a complete picture of reality. Now let us just see what is the first verse says here. Shankaracharya says in the first verse, last three words. What are the last three words? Brahma yattannatosmi. Is it not? Brahma yattannatosmi. What does it mean? I bow down to that Brahman. I am bowing down to that Brahman. What kind of Brahman? It is Brahman's description. It is our description. This is your description which is going on. Please, again and again I am reminding, this is not the description of something distinct from you. This is your description which is going on now. You are that Brahman. How? What is the nature of this Brahman here now? It is in the context of the three states. In the context of the three states, I bow down to this Brahman. How is this Brahman? Pragyananshu pratanai sthiracharanikara vyapibhir vyapya lokan. Vyapya lokan. This Atman means you. You are pervading this waking world. You are pervading this so-called the waking gross world. Again I repeat, this Atman is pervading the waking gross world. How? By Pragyananshu Pratanai. Pragyananshu Pratanai means by the rays of its own consciousness, which is spreading in all directions. You have to just exercise a little bit of your imagination, just like, sun and sun's rays. Similarly, Atman and Atman's rays of consciousness is pervading this gross waking world. Pragyananshu pratanai sthira chara nikara vyapi bhir vyapya lokan. Sthira chara nikara. Sthira means that which is immobile. Chara means that which is moving. And nikara means everything. Sthira chara nikara. It is pervading everything of this gross waking world by the light of its own, the rays of its own consciousness. And this Atman is, what is it doing? Bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan. Atman in the waking state is experiencing sthavishtha bhoga, means experience of gross objects. Atman in the waking state is experiencing gross objects. Is it not? Here we are all experiencing gross objects. Who is experiencer here? Not Mr. Ramphal or Mr. Anant or Mr. or anyone else. The experiencer is always the Atman. It is Atman who is experiencing the gross objects in this, the so-called gross waking world. Bhuktva bhogan stavishtham. Then, so first movie is over. This waking state is one movie which was projected on the Atman. Then this movie goes away, the second movie starts. The movie of the dream starts. Atman is there, is okay. Atman has not gone anywhere. Every time in a cinema theater when the movie changes, does the screen go here and there? Screen is just there where it is. movies keep on changing, is it not? Now the waking movie is over, then the dream movie starts. Bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan, then punarapi dhishanod bhasitan kamajanyan. Then it begins to see the dream of the subtle world, so-called the dream state. Then it begins to experience the world in its subtle form. Bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan punarapi dhishanod bhasitan kamajanyan. What is the speciality of dream state, you know? In the dream state, whenever we dream, it is a most illuminating experience is this dream state. In fact, this dream state holds the key to some of the greatest revelations about the truth. See, every day we dream, but we never inquire into it. Just see, when the dream is going on, we should know it is just like this world, is it not? You will find everything just like this, solid. Everything is solid, concrete. Everything hurts you. Everything is there, just as if it is there in the waking state. Is it not? Now the dream world which we are seeing, tell me, which is the light which illumines the dream world? Is this sunlight present there? This sunlight, the sun of the waking state, this solar system, the sun of this solar system, is this sunlight reaching the dream state? Is the light of this sun reaching the dream state? Does not. So which is the light in which this entire dream world is getting illuminated? Which is that light? It is just luminous like this one. What is illuminating it? Is there any external light? This is the investigation. It is full luminous just like this. It has got its own light. Not the light of the waking state. That is actually speaking the light of the Atman shining through the Buddhi. Light of the Atman shining through the Buddhi. There is no other light there. So, bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan punarapi dhishanod bhasitan. Dhishana. Dhishana means there the light is coming from the Buddhi. Atman's light radiating through the Buddhi. It is illumining all the objects which is created by our own desires. Dhishanod bhasitan kamajanyan. Kamajanyan, kama means desire. The different objects, the entire dream world, it is just the play of our samskaras. This entire dream world is just the play of samskara. Samskara means the waves of mind, nothing else. And these waves of minds are nothing but our desires, the desires which we have nurtured in our waking state. The desires which we have nurtured in the waking state, those samskaras, they become activated in the dream state. And that is what takes the shape of the so-called dream world. So Atman is now experiencing the creations of the desires present in the mind, and it is illuminating the entire dream world, the so-called subtle dream world. So first it was experiencing the gross world, now it is experiencing the subtle world, dream. Then Dishanod bhasitan kamajanya. Then pitva sarvan vishesha. Pitva, then it withdraws everything into itself. The waking is over, the dream also is withdrawn into the causal state. So from the gross to subtle and subtle to the causal. Pitva sarvan visheshan. Sarvan visheshan pitva. All the visheshas, all the particularities are withdrawn into the causal state. When we go to the sleep, the most striking feature of the sleep state is what? It is absence of all particularities. Is it not? In the waking state, we are experiencing different particularities. Everything is distinct. You are different, I am different. Different objects. Even in the dream state, it is full of particularities. That means the state of differentiation. It is a differentiated state with all particularities. Sleep state is characterized by the absence of all particularities. It is an undifferentiated state. So, Pitva Sarvan Visheshan. Swapiti. Swapiti means it completely withdraws into itself. Now, all the so-called manifestations are over. In waking state, everything is manifested. Dream state is also a state of manifestation. In sleep state, all the manifestations come to an end. Everything is silenced. Pitva Sarvan Visheshan Swapiti Madhurabham. A beautiful term. Madhurabham. Now here it experiences Madhura. Madhura means Ananda. In the waking state, Atman is experiencing gross objects. In the dream state, Atman is experiencing subtle objects. In sleep state, Atman is experiencing pure Ananda, Madhurabham. Mayaya Bhojayan. No. Through Maya, Atman is made to experience this Ananda of the causal state. Madhurabham Mayaya Bhojayan. No. Maya Sankhya Turiyam. Such Atman, this Atman who earlier experienced the waking state, then it experienced the dream state, and then it experienced the sleep state. This Atman is what? Maya Sankhya Turiyam. It is said to be the fourth. Turiyam means fourth. The term Turiyam literally means fourth. But it is called fourth only in relation to the three imaginary states of waking, dream and sleep. That's why Maya Sankhya Turiyam. Maya Sankhya Turiyam means Atman is called the fourth. Turiyam means fourth. But it is called fourth only in relation to the three states of waking, dream and sleep, which is imaginary, which is Maya Kalpita, which is Maya Srishti, which is not actually existing. So actually, through that statement, what Shankaracharya wants to say is that the three states are imaginary. What is actually existing is Atman and Anatman alone existing. The movie is imaginary. What is actually existing is screen and screen alone. It is only in the context of the three movies this Atman is referred to as fourth. Actually, it is not the fourth. It is the only thing which is existing. That is why this is Maya Sankhya. Maya number. Maya Sankhya means number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number. Numerals. But this 1, 2, 3, it is Maya. It appears to exist. The 1, 2 and 3. The waking, the dream and sleep. It is appearing to exist. That is why Atman is referred to as the fourth one because of the three appearing states. So Maya Sankhya Turiyam. And this Turiya Atma is how? Param, Amritam, Aja. This Atman is what? It is Param. It is Amritam. It is Aja. It is the supreme reality. See, we are in search of the supreme reality. Let us not forget this point. Yesterday I said, we are all seeking to know the supreme reality. How far is it? How far is it? It is our own true nature, throbbing in our own hearts, covered by the layers of the so-called the three states. It is just hidden behind the three states. It is as if it is covering the Atman, these three states of waking, dream and sleep. It is as if it is covering this Atman. When you begin to analyze and investigate into it, you will be discovering your own true nature. So Maya Sankhya Turiyam. And how is this Turiya Atma? How are you? That is the point. You are Param, supreme. Amritam, beyond death. Aja, unborn. Every statement is thrilling. So that's our true description. We are like that. We are unborn. All our idea of being born and dying, it's all happening in the three states. It's all happening inside the movie. Is there anything happening to the screen? When we watch a movie, there is a huge volcano. The whole screen is full of fire, explosion, bomb is exploding. So many things happen in the movie, is it not? There's a huge, devastating volcano, earthquake, everything is engulfed in fire. Tell me, is there anything happening to the screen? Is the screen really burning? Is the screen becoming hotter because of the fire on the screen? Or you see a scene in which there is a huge tsunami, there is a huge thunderstorm and flooding and everything is going on. Is the screen getting wet? Slightly? थोड़ा तो गिला होगा ना? बिल्कुल नहीं होता है. Nothing is happening to the screen. This is precisely our true nature. Upanishads want to tell us that, my dear children, actually speaking, nothing is happening to us. Actually speaking, nothing is happening to any one of us. We are dreaming that something is happening to us. We are dreaming that we were born on a certain day. This is the biggest lie, Upanishad says. And you're dreaming that you're going to die. This idea of birth and death, it is all happening in the dream state. We are the witness of all the three states. Absolutely free. Param, Ajam, Amritam, Brahma Yattam Natosmi. I bow down to that supreme reality. It's like that. So here in the first stanza, Shankaracharya is describing this Atman as pervading the three states. Now, the second stanza, now this Atman will be shown to be absolutely transcending the three states. First one was Saguna, second is Nirguna. This both together is the totality of the reality which is presented to us. Now see this description. Here also, the last three words are very beautiful. It says, Pa tvasau nasturiyaha. What does it mean? Pa tvasau. Pa tvasau means patu asau. Patu means let this turiya protect us. Now, why should Shankaracharya say that turiya should protect us? What kind of protection is Shankaracharya seeking from this ultimate reality? Is that protection, let my house be protected, or let my children be protected? Is this kind of protection that he is seeking? No. Here, protection means, let me have that supreme knowledge. Let the ignorance go away. That is the protection. When the ignorance goes away, that is the ultimate protection. Ignorance and our state inside the ignorance is the unprotected state. When the ignorance about the self goes away, that is the real protection. So let we have that protection from the supreme reality, from that Turiya Atma. So Patvasau nas Turiya. Let the Turiya protect all of us. And what kind of Turiya Atman? Yo Vishvatma. This Atman, which is Vishvatma, which is the very Atman of this entire gross world, means which is the very substratum or the screen on which the so-called the gross world is being projected. Yo Vishvatma. Vidhija Vishayan Prashya Bhogan Sthavishtan. Enjoying the so-called the gross objects of this cosmic gross world. Paschaschanyan Swamati Vibhavan Jyotisha Svena Sukshma. And then, after experiencing the so-called the gross cosmic world, Pascha cha anyan Swamati Vibhavan. Then it experiences Swamati Vibhavan. Mati means here, that which is created by the mind. It is then experiencing the creation of the mind, the subtle, the cosmic, the dream state. First it experiences the cosmic gross state, and then it experiences the so-called the cosmic dream state, subtle state. Paschaschanyan Swamati Vibhavan. Jyotisha, Svena Jyotisha, Sukshma. The dream state is that state in which the light is coming from within. There is no external light there. So Atman, having experienced the so-called the gross, then it experiences the subtle, and then Sarvanetan Punarapi Shani Swatmani Sthapayitva. Then, within a moment, it withdraws both these states into its own self and goes into the sleep state. Sarvanetan Punarapi. Shanai Swatmani Sthapayitva. Everything is withdrawn into one's own self, into that causal state. Hitva Sarvan Visheshan Vegata Guna Gana. And in the deep state, it completely relinquishes all Visheshan, all particularities. In the sleep state, it is giving up all the particularities. Hitva Sarvan Visheshan Vigata Guna Gana. Vigata Guna means it is becoming Nirguna. With the three states, it is Saguna, and without the three states, it is becoming Nirguna. Vigata Guna Gana Patvanasa Turiya. Let this Turiya protect us. So if you just see in these two verses, Shankaracharya is beautifully summing up what we are going to study now. Now this is just a presentation of the complete reality, the Atman which is associated with the three states, and the Atman which is disassociated with the three states. Now we will be understanding this reality in this very way, in and through the Mandukya Upanishad. Let's see. Now see the first verse. You can all repeat with me. Om iti etadaksharamidam sarvam.
Om iti etadaksharamidam sarvam.
Om iti etadaksharamidam sarvam.
Om iti etadaksharamidam sarvam.
Tasya upavyakyanam.
Tasya upavyakyanam.
Bhutam bhavat bhavishyat.
Bhutam bhavat bhavishyat.
Iti sarvam omkar eva.
Iti sarvam omkara eva.
Yacha anyat
Yascha anyat
trikalatitam.
trikalatitam.
Tadapi omkar eva.
Tadapi omkara eva.
I will take up the translation of this later. Introducing this first verse, Shankaracharya makes some beautiful observations. I am not going to read the whole of the introduction. I will be reading it selectively. If I take the whole of the Bhashya, it will take a long time. It is not possible. Let me just tell you, by the way, I think I had not told this yesterday's introductory class. We are going to study only the first Karika. The first chapter. First Prakarana. That is Agama Prakarana. There are four Prakaranas here. Agama Prakarana, Vaithatya Prakarana, Advaita Prakarana, and Arata Shanti Prakarana. There are four chapters. So it is not possible for us to, in 5 days, to complete all the four chapters. But even if we grasp the first chapter correctly, actually speaking, that is enough. The remaining 3 chapters, they are there only to further strengthen our conviction about what you have got from the first chapter. So if we have got the essential idea given in the first chapter, that itself is sufficient. The second chapter, now what these chapters are going to deal with, we will see. So we are going to study only the first chapter. And that also, from Shankaracharya's commentary, I will be taking up selectively. If I read the whole thing, it will take a long time. So Shankaracharya is saying here, this is not there in your printout. You please listen to me attentively. It's very important, beautiful things. Om iti etadaksharam idam sarvam. This is how the first verse starts. Om iti etad aksharam idam sarvam. These are the first few words of the first verse. Tasya upavyakyanam. All the four chapters means Agama Prakarana, Vaithatya Prakarana, Advaita Prakarana, and Arata Shanti Prakarana. These 4 chapters are nothing but Upavyakyanam. Upavyakyanam means explanation or exposition. Explaining and very important thing. Tasya Upavyakyanam. These are all the Upavyakhyanam. Vyakhyanam means exposition of what you know. It is all the exposition of only one sound. Om. It is going to make us understand what is the meaning of Om. Tasya Upavyakhyanam. And what is it? Vedantartha Sara Sangraha Bhutamidam Prakarana Chatushtayam. This Prakarana Chatushtayam, these 4 chapters, everything together is going to present to us the very quintessential thing or the very essence and cream of the whole of the Vedanta. It is going to give us the cream of what the Upanishads have to tell us. Upanishads tell us many things apart from the so-called the Atman ideology. But here we are not going to deviate even 1 inch from the Atman idea. In Mandukya Upanishad, the whole focus is on Atman and Atman and Atman and Atman and Atman alone, nothing else. In other Upanishads, you will find the Upanishads deals with Upasana, it deals with many Karma Kanda portions, and many other so-called allied subjects and topics. But Mandukya Upanishad, with its 4 chapters, with these 4 prakaranas, it has got only one theme. That is the theme of Atman and Atman, our true nature, your true nature, through understanding the meaning of Om. It is not going to deviate even 1 inch from this position. That is the beauty of this Mandukya Upanishad. It is so focused, tremendously focused. Om. Om means Atman. Atman means Om. We'll see this. So Shankaracharya is saying, Vedantartha Sara Sangraha Bhutamidam Prakarana Chatushtayam Om iti etat aksharam ityadya arabhyate. We are commencing the study of the 4 chapters, starting with Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam, which is going to give us the very cream of the Upanishads. Now, then, what is the purpose of studying this? What is the prayojana? We are all interested in the utility. What is the meaning of studying this? You all have come here. Why is that we are studying this? Tatra prayojana vat. Shankaracharya is saying this has got a great prayojana. Prayojana means it has got a great end in view. It has got a great goal in view. It has got a great prayojana. It has got a target. It has got a lakshya. We have to focus our eyes completely on this prayojana. What is this ultimate aim of studying this Upanishad? One is, it has got prayojana, it has got one lakshya, it has got one target. Second point is sadhana abhivanjakatvena. This Upanishad is going to tell us the sadhana. Sadhana means the means or the way to attain that goal. It is going to present to us that ultimate goal, and also sadhana abhivyanjakatvena. It is going to present to us the sadhana, the way to attain that supreme goal. So both the goal as well as the way to reach that goal. And then, now what is this ultimate goal here now? Prayojana, which we were talking about. Shankaracharya makes a very beautiful remark. He says, Kim punastat prayojana? What is this prayojana of this study? Why are we studying this book? He says, Rogartasyeva roga nivrittau swasthata. Just like a beautiful example is given. Somebody who is rogartha. Rogartha means somebody who is rogi. Rogi means a person who is afflicted with a disease. Somebody who is suffering from certain disease. When we suffer from certain disease, how do we become healthy? When the cause of that disease is removed by certain treatment, is it not? When a patient comes to you, the patient is coming because the patient is afflicted with some disease. And the disease has got some cause. So, he is a rogi. Now, how is this rogi going to become swastha? Swastha means healthy. How is this diseased person going to be healthy when the cause of the disease is removed? So, Shankaracharya is saying, just like rogartasyaiva roga nivrittau swasthata. When roga nivritti, when the cause of the disease is removed, then that sick person becomes healthy. Similarly, he says, Tatha dukkhatmakasyatmano dvaita prapancha upashame swastata. What a beautiful statement. He is saying, dukkhatmakasyatmano. This dukkhi jiva, you and all, we are all, see, actually speaking, we are all dukkhi only. Here nobody can be sukhi. Sukhi means nobody can be happy. In this state in which we find ourselves limited to a small biological structure, no one can be happy. It is impossible. It is just like sitting on the back of the crocodile, thinking it to be a log of wood, and we are hoping to be crossing the river. Is it going to happen? Similarly, identified with this so-called small biological structure, thinking it to be absolutely real, we are hoping to be happy here, which is never going to happen. So this state in which we are, this jivahood, this is dukkha, this is full of dukkha. So Shankaracharya is saying, Tatha dukkhatmakasyatmano, this dukkhi jiva, how will he become swastha? How will he become healthy? He will become healthy when Dvaita prapancha upashame swasthata. When this illusion of duality vanishes from his heart, then alone he will become healthy. So what is actually making us sick is this illusion of duality, a sense of reality in duality. Dvaita prapancha, the sense of reality in this phenomenal universe as if it is existing separated from me. In short, what is this cause of our disease? The cause of our disease is that we have taken it for granted that something is existing distinct from me. This is what is Dvaita Prapancha. And this is illusory. This illusion of duality, Dvaita Prapancha, a sense of realism that something is existing separated from me. As long as this is going on, here no one can be happy. So the cause of all our suffering is this Dvaita. Now see, we are going to the very essence of the whole of the Upanishads. If we just read this prospectus of Swami Vivekananda, I will take up that prospectus on the last day after studying all these things. That will be the best way to wind up this whole discussion. How Swami Vivekananda says this dualism is the cause of all our sufferings in life. It is a weakening contamination. This is the one thing which weakens us. This idea of something is existing separated from me. It is exactly echoing Shankaracharya's words here. So just like a person who is sick, he will become healthy when the cause of his sickness is removed. Similarly, this dukkhi jiva, you and I, in our present state, identified with this so-called destructible body, we are all suffering here. Our suffering can come to an end only when our sense of realism about this duality should come to an end. So what is the ultimate aim of the study? Shankaracharya says, Advaita Bhavaha Prayojanam. What a masterpiece. What is the ultimate goal of this study? It is Advaita Bhava, Advaita Drishti. That vision of non-dualism, nothing is existing distinct and separated from Brahman. Nothing is existing distinct and separated from our own self. Everything is one's own self. To come to this point is the very goal and target of this study. So what is the prayojanam? Prayojanam means the ultimate target. The goal of the study is what? Advaita Bhava Prayojanam. This Advaita Drishti alone can put an end to the sense of realism about duality. That is the point. This duality is illusory. This is what the Upanishads want to tell us repeatedly. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Yatra hi dvaitam eva bhavati. What a beautiful statement. Where as if there is duality. Look into your dream state. You want the proof of non-duality? How far away it is. Examine your dream state and see. Does duality really exist? In the dream state, you will find the entire world just like this, which is characterized by the so-called I-U distinction, is it not? What is the characteristic of this state? This state is characterized by I-U distinction. And this very thing is continuing in dream state also. Tell me, is it really existing, this distinction? Even in the dream state, what is actually existing is non-dual Atman and Atman alone. As long as our sense of realism exists, continues, a sense of realism about I and you being separated, so long no one can be happy, actually speaking. We are all suffering owing to this sense of realism about dualism, which is illusory. Advaita alone is the ultimate reality. And one of the beautiful proofs of that is the dream state itself, where Atman alone is existing. Is there anything else existing apart from the Atman? When we watch a movie in the cinema theatre, is there anything existing apart from the screen? But all the distinction, like this character and that character, I and you distinction, male and female distinction, everything is going on in the movie. It is just like a dream going on. Where there is Advaita and Advaita alone, we see Dvaita. And this Dvaita is the cause of all the sufferings which we have in life. So we become healthy when we regain our ultimate position of Advaita. Advaita Bhava Prayojanam. So this is the main aim of this study of the Mandukya Upanishad. And Shankaracharya says, Dvaita Prapanchasya Avidya Kartatva. Every statement is Shankaracharya is simply scintillating. This Dvaita Prapancha. What is this Dvaita Prapancha? Dvaita Prapancha means this phenomenal universe. Phenomenal. When I talk about phenomenal universe, always remember, I am talking about a state which is characterized by you-I distinction, which is characterized by Bheda Drishti, as if something is existing separated. You see, here in our state, what do we find here? I am there. I am looking at all of you. You are all looking at me. And we are seeing a world which is separated from all of us, the trees and the plants and the Himalayas. And even our idea of God is what? God is separated from us. In this state, nobody, unless one is a Brahmagyani, nobody has got the idea that we are not different from God. We are thinking, this is world, I am separate, Jayapradaji is separate from me, and God is also separate from me, hanging in some photograph. This is our idea of God. We hang God on the wall in a photograph and bow down to it. It's fine. In the beginning state, it's okay. But as we evolve in spiritual life, the whole vision changes. This idea of separation, mutual distancing is avidya kritatvad. Shankaracharya says, Dvaita prapanchasya avidya kritatvad. It is happening owing to avidya, Maya. Where there is only one non-dual reality, Maya makes us see all differentiations and distancing, spatial distancing, temporal distancing. Distancing in time, distancing in space. Everything is the creation of Maya, where there is actually speaking no distance. So Dvaita Prapanchasya Avidya Kritatva. So how will this Dvaita Prapancha come to an end? A Dvaita Prapancha, which is the creation of Avidya or Maya, Shankaracharya says, Vidyaya tad upashamaha. This can come to an end only through Vidya, knowledge. So this Dvaita Prapancha, which is the creation of ignorance, this Dvaita Prapancha can come to an end only when knowledge dawns in us. When the self-knowledge will dawn in us, at that time, our sense of realism about what we are experiencing, it will go away. Then even when I am seeing this, I know this is not the reality. This will come. If we really begin to put these things into practice, this is the vision with which we are going to be blessed in course of this so-called investigating, analyzing our own experiences. So, Dvaita Prapanchasya Avidya Kritatva Vidyaya Tadupashamasya. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, Iti Brahma Vidya Prakashanaya Asya Arambha Kriyate. Arambha Kriyate. We are commencing this study for what? So beautiful, so majestic. We are commencing this wonderful study for what? Brahma Vidya Prakashanaya. In order to get this great Brahma Vidya Prakashanaya. For we want to study this so that Brahma Vidya begins to manifest in our heart. Prakashanaya. For the manifestation of Brahma Vidya. When this Brahma Vidya begins to manifest in our heart, the darkness will begin to vanish. Our sense of realism about the so-called Dvaita Prapancha, our sense of realism in so-called this phenomenal universe, our sense of realism about this world which is characterized by distinctions and separations will begin to wane away, go away. The more and more this Vidya dawns in our heart, is a totally new vision is going to emerge in and through this great exercise. The words are so beautiful. Brahma Vidya Prakashanaya Arambha Kriyate. We are starting this great study. Now, the 4 chapters. Shankaracharya is briefly telling us what these 4 chapters are going to deal with. He is saying, Tatra Tavat Omkara Nirnayaya Prathamam Prakaranam Agama Pradhanam. This first chapter, which is known as Agama Prakaranam. Now we are going to study only this Agama Prakaranam. Shankaracharya is saying that this first chapter, Agama Prakaranam, what is its main focus? Omkara Artha Nirnayaya. It is meant for ascertaining the meaning of Om. The first chapter is completely dedicated to ascertain the meaning of one sound, which is Om. Omkara Artha Nirnayaya Prathamam Prakaranam Agama Pradhanam. This first chapter is going to deal with determining or ascertaining the meaning of Om. What is the meaning of this sound? And here this is going to be done based upon the words of the Upanishads. Agama. Agama here means the Upanishad. Here Shankaracharya and Gaudapadacharya, they are going to ascertain. In fact, they are going to expound. Upanishad is ascertaining here. Upanishad is telling us what is the meaning of Om. Shankaracharya ji and Gaudapadacharya ji, they are going to further explain what is this meaning of this amazing sound called Om. And that is being done here following the words of the Upanishads. Agama Pradhanam. Why? What is that we are going to gain by knowing the meaning of Om? By knowing the meaning of a certain word of what big thing are we going to gain out of it? There's a big meaning to it. Shankaracharya says, this Omkara Artha Nirnaya, understanding the correct meaning of Om is what you know. It is Atma Tattva Pratipatti Upayam. It is Atma Tattva Pratipatti Upayam. It means understanding the meaning of Om or ascertaining the correct meaning of Om is the way to experience the Atma. So see, our main intention is to discover our own true self. And here in Mandukya Upanishad, this discovery of one's own true self has to be done through Om, by understanding, by ascertaining, by determining the correct meaning of this amazing sound called Om. This Om is Atma Tattva Pratipatti Upayam. This is the very Upaya. Upaya means the means by which we shall be realizing our own true self. Shankaracharya is giving here two beautiful examples. He is saying that Yasya Dvaita Prapanchasya Upashame Advaita Pratipatti. When this Dvaita Prapancha is removed, we realize Advaita. When our sense of realism in so-called Dvaita goes away, we realize our Advaita nature. Is it not? He is giving us an illustration. What is the illustration? He says, Sarpadi Vikalpa Upashame Rajju Tattva Pratipatti. Rajju and Sarpa. The very standard example which we find in the Upanishads and Shankaracharya's beautiful illustration. Rajju Sarpa. What is this Rajju Sarpa? Rajju is rope. When we walk in, say, twilight, when there is not sufficient light, what happens? Something is lying on the street there. And we come across that something which is lying on the street, and we are perceiving something, but in our perception, we come to the conclusion that what I am seeing is a snake. But on a careful inquiry into it, or when you shed light on it, the person discovers that there is no snake there. It is just a rope. Now tell me, in this perception, what happened? Even when the snake was being perceived, what actually existed there? Rope and rope alone existed. Snake was not existing. The rope appeared as a snake. Snake was appearing on the substratum of the rope. The snake was appearing on the substratum of the rope. Similarly, that is what exactly is happening with Dvaita and Advaita. The real substratum is Advaita. Because we are not carefully examining and analyzing our own true self, that which is Advaita, it is appearing as Dvaita. This is happening. Literally it is happening. We are just comfortable. We have taken this for granted. This is the ultimate reality. This is not the ultimate reality. And this will become clearer when we begin to examine and analyze our own experiences. Just like when you begin to examine what you're perceiving, you will discover that there is no snake there. It is rope. It was always a rope. Even when I was seeing snake there, it was actually rope. Similarly, even when I am seeing Dvaita here, actually what is existing is Advaita and Advaita alone. This is an illustration. So, Rajvam iva Sarpadi Vikalpa Upashame Rajju Tattva Pratipatti. Now, the second chapter is meant to show this. Second chapter is meant to show the unreality of the so-called Dvaita. Second chapter of this Mandukya Upanishad, which is known as Vaithatya Prakaranam. Vaithatya means Mithyatva Prakaranam. You can take it as Mithyatva. Vaithatya means the falsity of duality. That is the main subject of the second chapter. The second chapter is going to tell us that the snake which you are seeing, it is false. It is rope and rope which is real. So the falsity of the snake. or the falsity of the so-called phenomenal universe is the main subject of the second chapter called Vaithatya Prakarana. And the third chapter which is known as Advaita Prakarana, there Shankaracharya says the main stress is to show that Advaita alone is true. That rope alone is true. Even when the rope was appearing as a snake, even at that time, it is the rope and rope alone which was actually existing. So to tell us the reality of Advaita is the third chapter, Advaita Prakarana. And the fourth chapter is Alata Shanti Prakarana. He says Alata Shanti Prakarana means quenching of the firebrand. Alata means firebrand. You take a torch, and the example is given by Gaudapadacharya there. If you take a torch, and if you begin to whirl it round and round, it will appear like a circle, is it not? The light will look like a circle actually, literally. But is there really a circle? There is no circle there, but the appearance of the circle comes. If you whirl a torch speedily in a circular motion, you will see the perception of a circle, white circle. But is there really a circle there? No. When you stop the movement, the light is gone. Similar is the case. This is Alata Shanti, quenching of the firebrand. In the fourth chapter, essentially, you will find it is dedicated to, in technically speaking, in Sanskrit, Paramata Nirakaranam. Paramata Nirakaranam means to show that all the other views apart from Advaita, they are all incorrect views. To show the incorrectness of all other views apart from Advaita. Ultimately, see, we can give some provisional place to these views. It's fine. Now see, all these different views apart from Advaita, they have their, what should I say, they have their place from a lower standpoint. But ultimately, it is all based upon an error and it is based upon ignorance. So this is what will be the subject matter of the fourth chapter. So in short, what are the four chapters going to deal with? Mainly the first chapter. The first chapter is dealing with determining the meaning of Om. Second chapter deals with the so-called the falsity of this Dvaita Prapancha. Third chapter deals with the reality of Advaita. Advaita alone is real. And the fourth chapter deals with the so-called showing the inaccuracy or the defective nature of all other positions apart from Advaita. These are the four chapters which actually Mandukya Upanishad deals with. Now for all of the practical purposes, for us, first chapter is the very cream actually. In the first chapter, this Atman has to be realized through Om. Om is Atma Tattva Pratipatti Upaya. That's an important point. The way to realize the Atman is through Om. How? We shall see now. A beautiful presentation is going to follow from now onwards. So it is only the second and the third chapters, they are very important to further concretize, to further strengthen that Advaita alone is actually true. Rest everything appears to be true. These are the main roles of the second and the third chapters. Now, we shall just stop here. If you have any questions, we can take it up. Otherwise, now what we have read now is just an introduction to the first verse. Okay, we have not started the first verse. We are going to now determine the meaning of Om. It is going to come now. And Shankaracharya is going to tell us what is this meaning of Om. That we shall take it up in the evening class.
Lots of people ask, is there any difference between Atman and Brahman? People raise that question about, you gave the example of Turiya as the screen. So could it, could it be that Turiya is the Atman, but what's the difference actually?
No, actually there is no difference as such. It is only in two different contexts that these two words are used. Atman is always used in the context of this individual body-mind complex. It is referring, actually these words are not going to exhaust the reality. Words are words. Actually all the words are within the movie. We should always keep it in mind. Upanishads, Atman, reality cannot be talked about. This is the whole subject of Kenopanishad. Reality cannot be named. You cannot. That's why all of them unanimously, ultimate truth cannot be captured in words. It is impossible. You cannot do that. But yet we have to use some words. These words are just indicators. They are not exhausting the reality. They are all just indicators, just hinting at a reality which is beyond mind and sense organs. Beyond the sensory plane. Beyond the movie, there is a screen. And that screen cannot be actually speaking talked about. That screen can be only hinted at. So these words called Atman and Brahman, they are all just indicators of the existence of a reality which is beyond mind and words. So anyway, so technically this Atman word is used in the context of this so-called, this individual person. A reality which is beyond the body and the mind and the sense organs in this context. But the same reality in the context of the cosmos is what is referred to as Brahman. Actually, they are not two different realities. That reality is one. But that light of consciousness in the context of this small body-mind complex is referred to as Atman. That very light of consciousness in the context of the cosmos, the whole of this cosmic so-called world, that is referred to as Brahman.
Within a world, would that be Saguna Brahman or Nirguna Brahman or both, Maharaj?
Which one?
The context, we said Brahman in the context of the cosmos.
Then it is Saguna.
Okay.
Then it becomes Saguna.
Yes.
See, all of our talks are, Nirguna Brahman is a matter of experience. Actually, both the Brahmans are a matter of experience only. Now, that is what we are going to discuss here. Saguna Brahman we can talk about. Nirguna Brahman we cannot talk. No one has ever spoken. No rishis, no Shankaracharyas, no Gaudapadacharyas, no one, no Ramakrishna, no one has spoken about the Nirguna. That is why Sri Ramakrishna says that it never became Uchishta. It never became Uchishta. Nobody has defined Brahman. Means, when we eat food, the food becomes defined. If something is served on my plate and when I start eating it, then the food has become defined. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna puts it in this very, very beautiful way. He says, Brahman has never become defined by words. But that is the eternal principle, all of them. Avam manasa gochara. It is beyond all words. No one can do it. No one. So all the great teachers, they are only indicating at the existence of a reality which is beyond the body, the mind and the senses. This is the whole subject of Kenopanishad. Brilliant presentation in Kenopanishad. Amazing. Yeah.
So when we see a snake in the rope, the snake is not there in the rope. Snake is in buddhi. That Brahm is in buddhi. So the adhikaran of the snake, the adhisthana of the snake is not actually the rope, but it's the buddhi, the Atman.
Adhisthana of the rope, adhisthana of the snake is?
Buddhi. It's the branch. The snake is in the buddhi.
Actually, the adhisthana of the snake is what you know. Now see, you are looking at from this perspective, snake, and you are trying to find out what is the adhisthana of this snake. What is the adhisthana of the snake? It is not buddhi. The adhisthana of the snake is avidya.
The bhranti in the buddhi.
Avidya. That's one word, avidya. Your buddhi is also the creation of avidya only. The buddhi which you are talking about and the buddhi which you are making an adhisthana of the snake, it itself is a creation of avidya. In one word, the adhisthana of the so-called Dvaita Prapancha is avidya. The question is, where does this avidya reside? Let us not talk about it now. Just leave it there. We'll discuss it later. So, adhisthana of the snake, you may say it is buddhi. No, it is avidya. It lies in ignorance. When ignorance is gone, what is this ignorance? It is a mysterious phenomenon. It is a mysterious, positive phenomenon, which is what we discussed yesterday, Maya. It is a positive power, a Shakti which plays this game, It is playing the game of light and darkness. It keeps you in darkness and makes you see the snake. It keeps you in darkness and makes you see the rope as snake. Again, I repeat. The function of this avidya and the Maya, it's a mysterious phenomenon. And everything is the play of Maya which is going on. It is making you see the rope as snake, with a sense of realism in the snake. Whereas that very Maya, when it moves away and it lets Brahma Vidya come, it will make you see that rope as rope and not rope as snake. So what is the adhisthana of the snake? It is one word, it is avidya. Your buddhi is also the creation of avidya. Where is buddhi? Atman alone is existing. What is buddhi? It is all Maya. Now look at it from that standpoint. Look at it from the standpoint of the Atman. What is buddhi? It is Maya. It is a changing dimension. It is a creation of Maya. You understand? So that buddhi which is seeing the snake, both the things, the snake and the buddhi, that is based upon the substratum of avidya.
Maharaj,
Yeah.
Sri Ramakrishna used to slip into Bhava Samadhi. So that Bhava Samadhi is equal to Turiyavastha, or is it a completely different entity?
Now see, this Bhava Samadhi, it's a very, you write it down. I will touch upon that. Let us first finish some of the very important discussions. You please note down this question. I will take it up later. Let us not talk about the Samadhi now. We have not even started now. We'll come to Samadhi later.
There's one more.
Let us go systematically, slowly. We have to do a lot of analysis. Then we will understand these things. What is the Samadhi and all? Just wait a minute. Yes, Dr.
In the morning session, you spoke just briefly about the transmigration of the jiva.
Yeah.
Is jiva equated to the subtle body?
Exactly.
So that includes prana, but it doesn't include the causal body.
No. The root is causal body. The root of the jiva is causal body.
But if the causal body transmigrates, that means like everybody transmigrates with the jiva.
No. See, it's not like that. This causal body is the very cause of this entire so-called cosmos. But it is this causal body which is actually taking the form of individual subtle bodies.
Okay.
This causal body is actually one thing. This is very technical things. Now here we are coming across two beautiful concepts. Actually speaking, at all the levels, the individual actually speaking doesn't exist. Even in the so-called the gross body level, actually speaking, the idea that your body is separated from others, it is based upon avidya. Everywhere you will see avidya is playing. The material out of which your gross body is made, it is the same material out of which the gross body of this person is made. It is one ocean of matter. Actually speaking, there is no break in that. It is one ocean of panchatattvas. There is no break in that. This wall, this body, this table, everything is made about the same panchatattvas. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala and Prithvi. But in this undivided ocean of matter, as if this configuration of so-called Father Kasyan's body and this configuration of the so-called Swami Shuddhidananda's body, as if it looks, they are different and separate.
Like two waves.
Like two waves. Actually speaking, there is no division here. Even in the material plane, there is no division. So what I want to say is that you're talking about at every plane, actually the cosmic alone is existing. Individual exists only in ignorance. Even now, that's why this Upanishad will talk about two dimensions. It uses two technical terms, Vyashti and Samashti. The individual and the cosmos. Now here, this Father Kasyan is the individual. The gross, waking individual. Now we are going to come to that point actually. There is one gross, waking individual. There is one cosmic, waking individual. Actually speaking, this cosmic, waking individual alone is existing. This so-called the the cosmic waking being alone is existing. This cosmic waking individual, particularized individual, it is based upon avidya. The same is happening with the causal body also. The causal body, it is not that my causal body and your causal body are different. But owing to ignorance, the subtle body is also actually, it is one. It is referred to as Hiranyagarbha. We'll come to that concept now. Hiranyagarbha is the cosmic subtle. But this unbroken cosmic subtle is appearing to be in the form of individual subtle. As if your subtle body is different and my subtle body is different. So this is all happening owing to avidya. And as long as avidya is existing, and this avidya is existing in the causal body. Causal body is avidya, maya, we have seen that. And it's owing to this avidya, this causal body, maya, the subtle body which is hypnotized to think that it is a separate individual, separated from the cosmos, it keeps on transmigrating.
So I'm going to just put a point on the question. What transmigrates?
The subtle body.
That's it.
Subtle body with the so-called, at the root of the subtle body is the ignorance. Ignorance is there.
Okay.
Because
which is causal.
Yes, which is causal. The causal is both individual as well as cosmic. Actually, it is cosmic. The cosmic individual, the cosmic causal body is what? Now we are going to come to that point. That is what is referred to as Ishvara. We'll come to that point now. Ishvara alone is actually existing, but Ishvara is appearing in the form of the small jiva, owing to ignorance. And in ignorance, this entity is dreaming. Actually, a dream is going on. This idea of transmigrating from one body to the other, it is just a dream which is going on. It is a nightmare which is going on. And this nightmare will continue as long as we have not attained knowledge, self-knowledge.
But how can we say that Ishvara alone is actually existing when Brahman alone is
And no, these are different stages we are coming to.
Okay,
And
so
from that standpoint,
within that standpoint.
Within that standpoint, from the lower standpoint, from the Saguna standpoint, we can say that Ishvara alone is existing.
Right.
As long as Maya is functioning, in that case, Ishvara is the Lord.
Sure.
He is the Lord of the Maya. We have to surrender to Ishvara. There's no other way. We'll come to that point. But ultimately, you will see, when you go beyond the Ishvara also, then there is no Ishvara. Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat, it's all the part of the movie. The ultimate reality is beyond all these three. But that is the final word actually. So we have to go in stages. But that is what actually we are going to do here. So please wait. A beautiful analysis will start. Yes, Utkarsh, one more question we can take.
During meditation, when the ego subsides and there are only vichar remaining.
Please pardon once.
During meditation, when the ego gets silenced down, subsides, and there are only the vichar and the experiencer, the observer. So is that observer only the Atman or?
Exactly. See, the bell has rung. You have spoken Upanishad actually. You have spoken Upanishad. That one who's observing the ego and all the activities, that is the Atman. Just hold on to that. Don't worry about what thoughts are coming. Your ego, this is all non-Atman. Ego is non-Atman. Your mind is non-Atman. All your thoughts are non-Atman. Your emotions are non-Atman. Just take the position of the witness. Thank you for raising this question, because today now we have to meet at 5:30 for our meditation session. So today we shall follow our, what we did when we did Vivekananda. This thing, exactly we were doing what now Utkarsh was saying. The practice of, it's all the practice of distinguishing between Atman and Anatman. I am not the Anatman. Gross body is the Anatman, I am not that, I am the witness of the gross body. Subtle body is the Anatman, I am the witness of the subtle body. I, the Atman, is the witness of the subtle body. And the causal body is also Anatman, and I am the witness of all the three. This is what is the Vedantic method of, simple method of meditation, which we had done when we studied Vivekananda. Today also we will do that. From tomorrow we will try to do what Mandukya Upanishad is trying to tell us, meditating with the help of Om. Today I cannot do that because we have not completed that portion. It is only after completing this portion, only after we understand the meaning of Om, we can utilize this most powerful tool. Om is the most, literally it is the most powerful tool of self-realization. So that we cannot do it today because we haven't completed that portion. So hopefully by tomorrow evening that portion will be completed. So tomorrow we shall try to meditate utilizing this great tool of Om. That we will do tomorrow. So today we shall just redo what we did at the time of Vivekananda. Again, I remind all of you, these meditations are not a replacement for what you have got from your Guru. Please understand that. You should be following what your Guru has said. There are any number of methods of meditation. But as you all are the initiated disciples, you should stick to what your Guru has said. Do not give it up. This is not a replacement for that. As we are here in Advaita Ashrama, we are following an Advaitic method of meditation. That's all. So we shall do that. You can all try. If it works, you can continue. There's no problem. But you should be doing what your Guru has said and what your Guru has given to you. That should not be given up. So we meet at 5:30 in the meditation hall, and we shall do some meditation. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.